Hi everyone, my name is Megan and welcome back to my channel. It's definitely been one of the hardest videos to film for me. I don't know why, but I've filmed this video probably like 3 times and each time it just has not worked out for one reason or another. Hoping this is finally it. I'm going to be looking through my 13th sketchbook. Something I have learned though through my past attempts at recording this video is that I talk a lot and this video is probably going to be long. I do have some other stuff that I wanted to show, so this is just going to be a long, relaxing, probably very low edited video, just so chill, watch, draw along if you want to. I really do love this sketchbook. I have a lot of good memories with this sketchbook, so I want to take my time and explain a lot. So yeah, the video is going to probably be quite long, so I'm sorry about that. But also, I haven't uploaded very much, so here's a long, chill video for you guys. Also, I realized I forgot to put my rings on, so... and my cat. I'm home alone, but there is a lot of background noise. Like, there is the washroom going on right now. There's a lot of background noise. Anyways, we're gonna get into this. Sketchbook. So this sketchbook is a Strathmore sketchbook. I'm pretty sure it's like the mixed media. I did at one point have I did have like the cover that came with it, but I moved, so that kind of got thrown out. But Stella and Co. sketchbook, because I do draw a lot of Stella in this sketchbook. If you don't know who Stella is, she is one of my original characters, and I'm currently writing a story about her. I do apologize if you can hear my cat. He's fine. He's just upset that my parents left. He's fine. We're gonna get into the sketchbook. I did mention it's a Strathmore sketchbook, and this is my 13th sketchbook. This is something I drew at school that I just put on here, and I put hairspray over it to help it not smear, and it actually worked. This I got in a sticker pack. It's Skeleta Calaveras from Monster High. Some random stickers and stuff. This page I actually filled in my drawing on the first page of my sketchbook video at the beginning of the year, which feels crazy to think that that was already like 7 months ago. Planning out what I was going to draw on the first page, and just, yeah, I figured I was gonna go. I drew my Spider-Sona. In the sketchbook, I actually do give her some upgrades and change her design a little bit. I did spell sketch wrong. I don't know why I have this problem with spelling sketch, but I do. I drew this on the 31st of December of 2021, but I actually started the sketchbook January 15th, and I finished it around March 18th. It's a little blurry on when I finished it because, like I explained in my last video, stuff happened in March, and like the exact day that I finished, that's kind of unknown, but we're just going with the 18th, I guess. This page, it's a little, there's a lot going on. My sketchbook goals, I don't really know what to put. I don't really know what to put for sketchbook goals anymore because I really don't listen to myself. So I just said backgrounds, Marvel drawings. I really did not know. Do more for Stella's story, which I actually did. Not because I looked at my sketchbook goals, just because I just felt like it. Drawing old drawings, painting, I did. And then I made, on my Pinterest board, I made a like board on my art. No, I just made a board that was like photos to study, that was just cool photos that I wanted to draw of like real life people. I didn't really do that many of those, but they're really cool. Anyways, I have some papers. This one actually has some spoilers on it. I drew this in class. Let's see if I can. So if I lift this up, you'll be able to see a story event that I don't want you to see. So sorry, Zola, your face is kind of covered. Anyways, this is Stella, my main character, and this is her best friend Willow, and this is Willow's twin sister Zola. There she is. I honestly love her. And then there's Caspian in the corner, who's the main male protagonist, I would say. Here, I don't know, what did I draw? Oh, I drew more of Stella. I don't really like these, so it's not worth it to turn around. And then I did some Andy story updates, this is when I decided that Andy is a twin instead of her sister Danny, who's gonna be a twin. I started the sketchbook off by redrawing an old, not even old, it was from Mermaid of 2021, but I don't know, I just liked the colors, so I wanted to redraw it. I don't really like it. This I did a while ago, I just stuck on here so I didn't have to draw right there. I used so many ultra fine point Sharpies. They're like these ones. I used these on almost every page, as you can see. The total's actually like 3 or 4, but this, I counted that like when I was like halfway through. I also used a lot of Kohl erase pencils, which is usual, I would say. I got Uni Posca pencils in the middle of the sketchbook, and I used them a fair amount. And for my watercolors, I used my Koi watercolor travel set, which are really nice, and like this Arteza panned watercolor set I have. I used a fair amount of Crayola Super Tips and Pilot erasable highlighters and Tombow water-based markers as well. I found other mediums to use in the sketchbook because I don't like the way markers look on here. On this page, I made like a pocket of sketches. So for the first semester of the year, I was just drawing on loose pieces of paper, and then like, but they were like, they had notes on them, so like I cut all of the drawings out and just put them in here. Daria is another one of my characters. Kyrie. I was actually designing a character because I was in my forensics class. We went over like the depravity scale, which is literally just how you rank killers. Each of the class got like half to do. There's like 32 stages, I think, so half of the class did 1 through 31 odd and the other did 2 through 32 even. 1 through 31. But I was just designing a character, and like I went through like the character was like really happy and then kind of like and then sad and then mad and then looked like she wanted to kill somebody. Put a lot of time into, and mine got laminated and put on the wall. So another one of those cards that I did that I just put in here to fill up space. These are sketches of Lainey. I was just trying on a new hairstyle, I guess, I don't know. And then these were the first drafts of what would become Ren. Okay. So if you didn't know, I was in an animation class and I was planning on making my animation about Stella, but I realized about halfway through the year I was like, I don't like animation, and I had done 0% of my animation and I dropped the class. And I was like, well, this is still like kind of like the opening of Stella's story anyway, so I kind of wanted to make this into something else. So I had like I have 2 pieces of 18 by 24 inch paper that I was going to make like a little comic out of. I just never did it because it's gonna take a lot of time, but I still want to do it because I still like the story and still want to like Stella and Willow. This is before their redesigns. They have been briefly redesigned, I would say. This is kind of when I realized I was like, I hate the way the markers look and they bleed through like crazy. You can't do a lot of blending on this paper, but it's like a little textured, so like I would say it's definitely more geared towards watercolor and just watered materials in general. With that being said, I was like, let me do a watercolor study. Yeah, that didn't happen. It was bold of me to think that I would be able to do that with like my little watercolor experience. So this also made me realize, I was like, Willow has literally had the same design and same clothing since I created her in 2020. So I was like, she deserves a new outfit. This is kind of what it looks like. It's a little different than this, but this is a picture of my eye actually. And I drew it about, I think in 2020, where I was going through like my realism phase. So I decided to redraw it. Yeah. So in a different sketchbook, I don't know why I didn't just draw it in the sketchbook. I came up with a new design for Stella where she has like a corset. I love it. This is kind of what it is. And then here's Willow. And this drawing under here I just didn't like, so I covered it with Spider-Man that I drew in class, of course. Also when I cut Stella's hair and absolutely loved it. Anyways, one thing I hate about this sketchbook is that the pages don't really crease. I don't know why, but like I have to hold down the pages or else they'll just like, so that's one thing I don't like about this sketchbook. But anyways, I did like a little gouache painting of a mushroom, but I had a lot of paint left, so I just literally finger painted this. Like with this one finger, I just finger painted it, and I don't know how it got to this, but it did, and I liked the concept, and I was like, this is kind of what art block feels like. I don't know why the head is detached from body, but I want to turn it into like a more finished drawing. Two things that I drew in class. I actually drew like another one that looks exactly like this, but I like that one more, so I taped it in on another page. This is when I decided I was going to redesign my Spider-Sona, because I had just watched a video by Prickly Alpaca where they designed their Spider-Sona, so I was like, why not? In that video, they actually found a spider to base the design off of, and I was like, hey, that's a good idea. So I found this spider on Pinterest. Whether it's a real spider or not, I have no idea, but it was blue and orange, and I wanted to stick with the blue color scheme because back in September of 2019, when I actually designed my Spider-Sona, I went with blue because that was my favorite color at the time, and then I added orange as like a contrasting color. At some point, I found this flower called the spider lily, where I decided I would take some bits from that. From the beginning, she always had the same powers as like a normal Spider-Man, or normal like Peter Parker. So like the super strength, the sticky, the spider sense. But I also gave mine a form of telepathy. I don't know why. She also makes her own webs, kind of like Peter Parker in The Amazing Spider-Man does. And she dyes them blue to match her suit. Anyways, this is what the suit looks like. As you can see, the legs on the leaves the legs on the spider are actually inspired by the leaves, I guess, on the spider lily, as well as I put 6 of them on her head to represent 8 eyes. I don't know what my cat is doing, I apologize. The spider lily kind of like has like bits hanging down. I really don't know anything about flowers, so I apologize. But I gave that on her arms, and I think it looks cool. Also, if you see like paint like this is just like extra paint, because I don't like wasting paint. Even though it's watercolor, you can reactivate it. I was just trying to get it off of my palette. The page is kind of a mess. I was drawing hands. I was actually using my own hand for reference, but they still suck. I just can't draw hands. I wrote with extra watercolor, like I mentioned, and all that. This I actually did with watercolor, and I actually really like. She looks so cute. It's Stella. These were drawn in school. Basically anything that's drawn on lined paper like this was drawn in school. These were all drawn with Sharpies, including that. This page, a lot of extra paint, as you can see. It's so bright. And these random things are from that photos to study board I mentioned earlier. That's basically all I did with it. There's my Spider-Sona again, and this is a reference I found on Pinterest that I also watercolored, which I'm not gonna lie, kind of proud of that because it's watercolor. This page, I wasn't home, but I drew these 3. I drew Stella, Caspian, and Willow, and then I was like, well, I started coloring Stella and Caspian, and I was like, well, I want to color Willow, but there's swatches right there, so I just drew her again right here. And I like this one way less. I also drew Marlowe, but like for some reason they just didn't look right, so I covered their eyes. Caspian, literally that's peak of my guy drawing. And this is also when I was coming up with designs for Ren. I'm trying to talk over my cat because he literally just won't stop. I'm sorry. This is Ren. I watercolored these. I really like the way Caspian looked, and I was scared to do any line art, so I didn't, and I just didn't really like how she looked. I drew Marlowe here, and I drew Ren, but I drew that after I actually designed her. There's a Caspian. And any like thing like that looks colored like this is definitely done after the fact. Like I went through a lot and would color random things to just add color to the page. Some pose. I don't know what I was doing, but there's some poses. This was a video where I gave some character designing tips, and I also designed 2 new characters of my own. I designed Elias. I designed Elias and Ren. Elias is drawn a lot in the sketchbook, and I remember saying in the video that Elias wasn't gonna be in the first story or the second, or like the first story, but was gonna be in the second story as kind of like a side character. No, he's a main character now, and he will be in the first story. Here, I was designing a tattoo for Ren because I don't know, I felt like she would have a tattoo. She gives me those vibes. Sketching my girls, so Stella, Willow, Marlo, and Ren. I almost forgot her name. These were still trying to design or decide like what Elias looks like. Also, this is the Elias from the video that I hate, so I covered it with Andrew Garfield because we're gonna skip this for just a second and go here. I drew my cat, and then I drew Stella and Elias here, and then drew them again, and then I drew them over here. I think the order in which I drew this was this one, that one, and then that one, so it somehow got progressively worse, but it's okay. Working on some side profiles. I think that's Tom Holland. No, that is Tom Holland. Stella and Elias. I drew some cats without reference. Still deciding like kind of like Elias's color scheme. There's one YouTuber artist I follow, Oliver's Antics, does like a halfway page, so I wanted to do that too, and then I just kind of lost motivation to do it. I actually drew Rambo down there if you can see it, and I was like, I don't really want to do that, so I kind of skipped and drew on other pages and then went back and filled this up. So I drew Stella and Elias again, whatever this is, and then these I drew in class, and I drew a dog. If you don't really like blood, I would look away for a few seconds. I drew that. It doesn't look like anything I've ever drawn before, and I think that's why I like it. I don't really like the drawing, but I like the concept of it. I should do it again, because I found a TikTok, or I like was watching a TikTok, and they're like, blood, this is how you can draw blood easy, and you just like take your marker and you color over a sticky note, and it actually works. On this page, I don't know what I was feeling, but I just drew some Pinterest references, just like some bodies. And one here, I was just redrawing a couple of the poses I drew on the other one, on the other page, and I drew some Matt Murdock because Daredevil. Did this, I love this, Stella, Elias, and Caspian. I found this reference on Instagram actually, through another artist, so I did like the base and Copics, so just like one layer of Copics, and then I went over everything with colored pencils actually, because I wanted to use my colored pencils. So yeah, and this is also when I was like, maybe he's in the first story more than I thought. I found this picture on Pinterest, I believe, of Leia Lopez's characters from like Strawberry Moon, I believe, and it was just such a cute pose between the two characters. I wanted to draw it, but that kind of sucked. So, flip the page. I drew it again, but Elias looks so weird in that, so I redrew it, but then I drew him too small, so everything just kind of like, but I redrew it over here and I really like it, so this is not my pose, but I still really like it, I think. There's another thing I typed in. This is actually one of my favorite pages. I love the way this page looks. It's drawing Stella and Willow in their bathing suits. On Instagram a lot these days, and I always look like there was just a trend for artists where you drew your original characters as like a child or like a villain or a hero or just like gender swap, like all of those. So I drew Stella as a child, and she looks so cute. She has a big bow. And then I remembered I drew her with this like big eye in one of my last sketchbooks. I was redrawing that and I colored them with my Tombos, and I just think she looks so dumb, but she's so cute. And I love this one, and I also kind of like this, the way that looks. If you couldn't tell, Stella is my favorite character, so. Here I got a new pen. It's the Sharpie S Gel pen. I love them. And I also got small sticky notes. Ooh. Ooh. So I was just drawing some hairstyles, and this is when I realized you should not use water-based pens with this, or water-based markers with this pen. This is a thing I did in like my 6th sketchbook, because I was doing a lot of Skillshare classes, and the class for some reason is like how to use Copic, or how to use gray Copic markers or something, so I just redrew this one. I also drew Stella and Elias here, but I don't really like it because I added too much blush and it just kind of looks weird. I did the personality tests for my characters, and Stella's an ISFP and I'm an INFP, so we're pretty close. Anyways, this was actually from my last sketchbook as well, but I just ripped it out of my old sketchbook and put it here so I could cover up the marker bleed through. And I was drawing Stella some more. This was at the beginning of first story and probably like middle to end of second story. And some more Stella and Elias. They have friendship bracelets, and they have like matching bracelets of each other's eye color, which, okay, it sounds weird, but Stella's favorite color is red, so that's why he has a red bracelet for her, and it just so happens to be her eye color, and Stella's is blue because I don't know. I don't know. Like, Elias's eye color is blue, but like I think he probably just likes blue as well. Here I drew Andrew Garfield. I started this with a base of Copics, so like I did like the skin and the shirt and the hair with Copics, and then I went over it with watercolor for some reason. I don't know why. I didn't really do anything, and then I went over it with colored pencil. Here again, I tore this out of my old sketch, or my other sketchbook too, but I just drew on these to go over the marker bleed through. And here I did like little like character sheets kind of for Stella and Willow, but I also didn't really know what to put on the sheet, or like put on it, so I just put their age at like the beginning of both of the stories. Best friend, like they're each other's best friend. They're both a witch. Stella's an ISFP. Willow's an ENFP. She's an extrovert. Stella has the power of geokinesis. Willow has the power of pyrokinesis. Stella was born on August 1st, and she's a Leo because I love Leos. And where is her birthday? Oh, it's right there. Willow is an Aries because I thought that would fit, so she was born on March 23rd. Stella's 5'2", and Willow's 5'7". So my first go at a comic. This is like the first time I've ever done like a comic before, so I was just trying it out. So it's based off of the song Think by Bruno Major, which I kind of always associated with Stella and Caspian. I associate different songs with my characters. I think I was literally just listening to that song and I was like, oh, that's kind of like Stella and Caspian. So dumb conversation, we lose track of time. I don't really like the drawing of this, but I like the concept, I guess. Have I told you lately? I'm grateful. Never mind. So like, yeah, I don't know if you got if you know anything about this story, you would know that obviously they were together at one point, but if you saw like this with Elias, then maybe you have some kind of thought of what could. I'm not saying anything for certain this happening, but maybe you have an idea of what happened between them. Again, I'm not saying anything because it would be giving away spoilers, but So going through like my like little Valorant phase because I was watching a lot of Valorant. I was just drawing them instead of playing. So I started with Jet because Jet's actually one of my favorite and my favorites. I did this also. I did all of the bases, like the base colors with Crayola Super Tips, and then I went over them with crayons. So I drew this in class. I drew Charlie Cox in Stardust. Oh my god, I love that movie. What is his character's name? I forgot his character's name. But yeah, drew these in class. And then over here I drew Rapunzel. I don't think I used like I think I just drew them. But here's more Jet. And I was trying to draw a Stella and Elias pose, and it literally was just not working out, so I had to redraw it 3 times and still don't like it. So this page is also one of my favorites. I just have some random sketches over here. I don't think I was trying to become anybody. I was drawing Killjoy actually, because the glasses from Valorant. And this, I literally, you'll see these papers later. There's a hole in one of the papers because in class I literally took a pen and cut this out and put it here because I liked this face, and there's a foot on the other side of it. Here's some Monster High, Jay Laguna, Frankie, and Draculaura. Just drew them on the sticky note with Sharpies and then went over it with Tombos. Stella, I don't know, she just looks really cute. I love her. Stella and Elias, again, something happens. This is when I associated another song to them. I had already kind of, what song was it? I forgot. I was listening to the song I Hear a Symphony by Cody Fry, and I was like, oh yeah, that's kind of, well, that's what this song, you probably already saw that. But I was like, that's kind of Stella and Elias, and then I heard the song Straight Into Your Arms. Whoa. I heard the song Straight Into Your Arms by Advanced Joy, and I was like, yeah, okay. So that's also another one of their songs. These two were also poses I found on Pinterest, or like references I found on Pinterest, so those are not mine. This is when I attempted like another comic. It's when Elias first sees Stella. We're not gonna look at these two faces. I hate the in this. I'm just not gonna look at them. I like that face, and I like that face. Again, context clues. Watching sketchbook tours on YouTube because I was trying to get ideas, and I saw somebody drawing. I think they actually drew Chandler Bing from Friends. I was like, hey, that's a good idea. Richie Tozier instead from It, because he's one of my favorite characters of all time. Like, after watching all of the It movies, like including the 1990 miniseries and both parts of the new one, and reading the 1107, it's in the 1000s. After reading the book, I was like, I can safely say he is one of my favorite characters of all time. These are quotes from the movie. I think these are all from the first movie, or from It Chapter 1. I drew this in class as well. So there's Marlo, there's Willow. This is kind of when I was giving her like a new outfit and deciding on it. And then I was like, why do I still have the same hairstyle? So I gave her a new hairstyle. So she has kind of like braids, or she has like 2 like little Dutch braids, I guess. As a more like end story, and then she wears like this. I don't know, I might change it because I don't really like it. That's the last thing I drew in the sketchbook. When I was in Oregon, we were kind of just sitting around and I just drew that. And here are all the tattoos, some of the tattoos that I want. During this time, I was watching season 4 of Miraculous Tales of Ladybug and Cat Noir, and he deserves so much better. I also drew in class. I just really did not feel like drawing on this page, so I didn't. but I do this in class. This is also a page from forensics that my friend drew, so I didn't draw that. And then on the last page, I have a common theme or common thing of redrawing the first page. So I just redrew my updated Spider-Sona design. I really like it. I don't really like the drawing anymore. It's like, what the heck is going on here? But I do like the design. And that's when I said goodbye to Sketchbook 13. And here I actually had a bunch of these papers taped here, but once I finished the sketchbook, I took them out. There's a marker in here. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna scoot this aside and we're gonna go through these, and I'm going to, hold on. We're just going to flip that because that is literally the whole plot of my story on it. All drawn in my classes, so yeah. I'll try to go through these as fast as I can also. Okay. I was trying to design Ren, come up with her design. I hate that. But I kind of like these. This is Stella, Caspian, Willow, Zola, and Marlo in like a chibi style. I think they look really cute. This came off of my photos to study board actually, and this is my cat Jackson. The one meowing. This. I don't know what that is. I think that was actually supposed to be Stella. After I watched The Amazing Spider-Man, so I just drew Gwen in that one scene where, in Amazing Spider-Man 2, where Peter whips her hand on the car hood, and there's some more. I wasn't looking at a reference, so I didn't really get her outfit right, and I was doing that from memory. Charlie and Guinevere. I drew this in my notebook and then cut it out, but literally on the other side I decided to write the entire plot of Stella's story on the back. We're writing historical fiction, so I was coming up with a character. After I designed my Spider-Sona, so I was drawing her. Okay, and then like that one would fit. But here's Elias, Stella, Caspian. You can tell when Elias starts making his way in because you don't see Stella and Caspian together anymore. Stella. Oh, scared the crap out of me. Here are all my characters. It fell off the wall. I like this style because I really like the big feet. When I decided I was going to make my historical fiction from the 1920s, going to write about the 1920s. So I think these are like the flapper dresses, if I'm not mistaken. Historical fiction stuff. I was drawing Elias and Caspian. They're supposed to be best friends. I don't know why they're looking at each other like that, but they're best friends. Ren, I really like that. Marlo, Stella, Willow. Stella looks kind of weird. This is one of the ones, I drew Stella and Elias together and I cut it out, but I ended up naming her Eleanor, and she's who I wrote my story about. But here is Stella and Elias and Stella. I kind of like that drawing too. Eleanor and Stella, and you guessed it, Elias. This is also when I was drawing Jet, so there's her. This is also when I took Elias out of this. Took his foot along with it. I think this is from forensics. I honestly cannot remember why we were writing on separate pieces of paper. Because for stuff like this, we usually get like a fill in the blank kind of paper. Elias was one of the cells from my animation that I obviously didn't use. I drew Stella on it. Here's another one of my cells that obviously never got used. But here's Stella. This is actually based on one of my Inktober drawings. I just redrew it. This is actually Stella's house. I don't know if I've ever shown it before. And I also decided that they have 2 moons. So right here is actually Stella's room. Their house is actually pretty small because Stella's parents work for the government, actually. I don't know if I've actually ever talked about this or said this, but they work for the government. They have pretty cool powers. I don't know the official name, or I don't know their official powers yet, but they help They're kind of like in the medicinal field, I guess. So the house is pretty small, but they actually have like an underground basement situation where they do all their work. They work from home. Here's Stella. Where's Stella? Ooh, this also kind of has spoilers. Stuff we already could tell, but yeah. Stella and Elias. I love this face. Is Stella, random girl. Elias, I think he looks really cute here. Class one day, I found this reference on Pinterest that had a bunch of different necklines on it, and I was gonna draw Stella in all of them, but I got through 4, and there was like 16, so Stella and Elias. I love this drawing so much. I don't know why, I just love the way Stella looks. Here's another Stella. This is when I decided to put more effort. Like, her hair isn't like curly, it's more like a harsh wave, I would say. It's not really like curly. This was another cell. My animation. I drew Stella. I actually finished or turned this into a more finished drawing. This is Stella. Took a break from drawing Stella and I drew Rapunzel. We were watching actually Willow in class. Yep. Stella. Here we were getting into May, so I started drawing my mermaids. So currently I have 2 mermaid characters. I have Daria, she is a hybrid mermaid, human mermaid, and then here we have Kyrie. And I also created a new character in their story. His name is Jack. Also drew some Stella and Elias. Kyrie. This is actually a mermaid I drew last year. And then Daria. I was drawing King Boo in class. I don't know how me and my friend got on the topic of King Boo in class, but we did, and I drew him, and I drew Kirby. Writing fantasy. And I drew Jack, and I drew Daria, and I drew Jack and Daria. They're best friends. They're friends, Your Honor. They are just friends. Here's Daria, and here's Jack and Kyrie. This is when I got Pokemon Diamond. And I started playing that, and I named my starter Stella. Obviously, my starter Pokemon was Piplup, and I named him Suki, because that's Stella's cat's name. And then I named my rival Elias. I don't know what I was doing here, but I was drawing Elias and Stella. So in my last video, I said my voice was nasally because I had been crying. This is the development I was crying about. I'm not gonna explain any of it because I don't want to. Here's my Stella. Again, I was like, she's like, why did you do that to me? I was like, I don't know, I'm sorry. And she's flipping me off because I also really like this hand. I like that thumb. Lastly, we have Stella. This is the last piece of paper, like loose piece of paper that I drew on, because after this, I actually got a notebook. See, like, I had a sketchbook that I had in my backpack the whole year. I just didn't like drawing in it. I don't know why, but I got a notebook that's like the grid paper, and I drew on that for the remainder of the year. Ha! That is everything. If you watched all the way through, I thank you. You are a trooper. I hope you guys did enjoy, though. And I hope you guys like taking a look at my sketchbook. My sketchbook is on the floor. I'm just now reaching the halfway point of sketchbook 14. It has taken me 3 months to get there, but we are chugging along, slowly but surely. And I'll see you guys in the next